everyone, welcome to Joy Asonye Live this beautiful evening where we would be going all the way to Kano. It's interesting things are happening. There are several developing stories coming from that since the court sacked the governor, Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf of the NNPP, the New Nigeria People's Party. So much's been going on, coming from attacks and reactions, or not attacks, rather protests, and reactions, especially the recent comment by one of the panel of the tribunal, the Governorship Election Tribunal, calling the NNPP group, that's the Kwankwassia group, a violent group. We will get into the whole matter when we come back from this short break. My guest is seated, Dr. Stanley Ijeh. Recently, he's been speaking for the NNPP more. Could it be because of what's the internal problems going on in the NNPP? We'll get to that as well. It promises to be very interesting, but that's after this break, so stay with us. With me in the studio to discuss what's going on in the NNPP and the recent proclamation of the court in Kano State is Dr. Stanley Ijeh. He's a National Vice Chairman, South of the New Nigeria People's Party. Thank you so much for being part of the program.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Nigerians, and thank you for having me.
The NNPP has been in the news for all the wrong reasons recently. It went from having your national leader, that's the candidate of your party, presidential candidate, first of all being suspended, and so attendant stories from there. It started there, and then the only governor that the NNPP had gotten, the court has sacked him recently from that seat. How is the NNPP feeling right now? Not to mention during that verdict, this proclamation, one of the judges considered the Kwankwassia group a terrorist, or is it bandits? You would tell me better, so that, because I want to know how you're feeling right now. You feel like you're being hit from every part of all sides, really.
Yeah, thank you very much for those perspectives. But I will tell you something. There's this local adage that the tree that bears the sumptuous fruits received the most pellets. NNPP is a party to beat when it comes to elections in Nigeria. NNPP is founded on truth, on love, and with dignity of the leader. It might interest you to know that Nigerians are mourning.
Nigerians are mourning?
Yes, what happened in Kano is not just the people of Kano. Because what happened on that day is a picture of the fear Nigerians had entertained of the APC government. You see, when judgment was murdered on the altar of injustice, what do you expect the people to do? The people mourn. A situation where a judge will give judgment without looking at the relevant articles, relevant laws guiding that election, it leaves much to be desired. It is an obvious fact that that judge did not do justice to the very good people of Kano State. More so, when the judge left what he was supposed to do and delved into an area that he knows almost little about nothing. The Kwankwassia group is an ideological driven organization. I'm a proud Kwankwassia.
I can see that by your outfit.
Yes, thank you. And Kwankwassia means amana. Amana means trust. People you can trust your life with. Tell me which organization in Nigeria have done what Kwankwassia has been able to achieve in the past 16 or 20 years.
I mean, we're not campaigning, but when you keep saying that, what do you mean? What has the Kwankwaso or the Kwankwasia group really done?
Thank you very much.
Good.
Kwankwansias, the movement founded by His Excellency Dr. Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, is the only organization founded to provide civilized way of life for its people, for Nigerians. The Kwankwasia group, the current chairman of APC, was a member of Kwankwasia. You see, it goes to show that those who eggs are cracked for them by benevolent hearts should learn to be humble. That man became deputy governor. Whatever he became in his life, he got it through the Kwankwasia movement. His deputy, when he was governor, same, who is now contesting a lost election. So why will a man who have benefited from a structure go about looking for opportunity to destroy that thing that gave him a future? That is hypocrisy to the highest order. It is on record that it's only the Kwankwasia movement, through the effort of His Excellency, had sponsored Nigerians abroad. One thing people have to understand is that Kwankwasia do not just sponsor people. They look at the critical areas that are certain phenomena are lacking.
Okay.
We send people for piloting engineer, medicine, medical engineering, machinists, in critical area of the economy. That is the area Kwankwasia sponsors these people. Kwankwasia is interested in the well-being of Nigerians. That is why it's not limited to Kano alone. I am from South Nigeria, and I am a proud Kwankwasia, because I know that that is the only organization, political, social organization in Nigeria today that is ideologically driven to provide service for humanity, that take care of Nigerians for Nigeria, irrespective of where you come from.
Okay.
That is the only socio-economic organization today in Nigeria that is not driven by religion or ethnicity. That is the only organization today in Nigeria that can provide a platform where anybody who desires to achieve political relevance and leverage can key into, and he is welcome irrespective of who he or she is. That is the only organization in Nigeria today that care for child education, that care for gender balancing. The only organization today where people can go and access scholarship, irrespective of where you come from. Tell me any Nigerian governor or former head of state that have a political movement that has survived him after he has left government. It is because Kwankwasia is founded on truth, on justice, on equity, on fair play, and on love and on peace. But
that didn't help the 165,663 votes that were allegedly not stamped, which is the tenet of the Electoral Act. I mean, you have just, I allowed you to talk about all the beautiful and noble parts of the Kwankwasia movement. Emotionally, if that's what we have to focus on, I'm sure the court will say, yes, this is good. But when you go into the nitty-gritty, the fact of it is that there were 165,663 votes that were invalid.
As a journalist.
As a journalist, proudly so.
Have you read the same Electoral Act you are referring to now?
I have.
You have. If you have read it, if you have read 63(2) of that Electoral Act, it is stated unambiguously that at the point of collation, once the electoral umpire, which is the polling agents and the INEC staff are able to verify that this ballot paper is genuine, he has no other option to accept it. As far as the other agents of the other political party do not have any reason to say no. Let me remind you that in every polling unit, every political party is represented by their agents.
Of course.
The police are there.
However,
excuse me, ma'am.
No, before you go further, there were some agents that were not verified. I remember prior to the elections, some polling units did not have agents. Some parties
not a ruling party. APC was the government party in Kano.
Right.
If they had had any misgiving, they would have written their reports or attach it. But they didn't do so. Even at the collation center, they didn't do so. So how will a judge not look at that and then pass judgment based on the fact that, oh, these ballot papers were not stamped? He would have equally go to the laws which states that there could be other reasons why they are not stamped.
Do you think that the NNPP gave strong enough reasons why it could not have been stamped? Because section 61, I want to quote something now, of the Electoral Act 2022 also provides that the presiding officer shall, after counting the votes at the polling unit, enter the votes scored by each candidate in a form to be prescribed by the INEC, as the case may be. Section 62 of the Electoral Act provides that the form shall be signed and stamped by the presiding officer and countersigned by the candidate or their polling agent where available at the polling unit. I just needed to also say that for context, so that people understand that indeed the court was right to insist that.
You cannot read that in isolation.
What do you mean by in isolation?
Yes, because you have only just read
an excerpt.
An excerpt.
Exactly.
You would have read it through to find out that there it is clearly written.
Of course, there are cases where
there are cases where there are no stamp. There are cases where there could be no biro. That is expected.
No biro?
No biro, yes.
No stamp?
No stamp. Biro. All the election umpire need to do is to be satisfied that this ballot paper is a ballot paper that comes from them. Let me remind you.
In those cases where, may I interject a bit? In those cases where there is no biro or no stamp,
no markings,
no markings, what could be the reason? Because those are it's like going to farm without your equipment.
No,
those are all the things you need. Stationaries are the first things.
Just like I said,
you need to go there. Are you under duress? And if you are under duress, there's also a process of complaining. If you are under duress for not being stamped. So
who counted those votes?
Who counted?
Yes.
Well, the INEC staff.
Was it counted by NNPP?
They weren't counted. The number was not.
They were counted. Excuse me, ma'am.
The number is not in dispute here.
Yes, and duly entered. So if they had any problem,
it should have been INEC.
It should have been INEC, and not just that. The agents of APC would have sent in a report. They didn't do that. Don't forget that the governor did not contest this election. The governor, having known that Abba Yusuf defeated him, NNPP defeated APC, congratulated the governor.
Oh, but of course,
I said he wasn't contesting.
No, that's
it was the party. He was never party. Excuse me. You see,
it's the party that contests the election.
Let us educate Nigerians.
Yes, exactly, and I'm ready for that, Doctor.
You see, you have to understand that
contests election.
He cannot even benefit in a process he did not participate.
Why not?
He wasn't a party to the case.
And yet the party went to court.
The party, I said he as the governor, did go to, there's a Supreme Court ruling over that. Yeah, he could never have benefited from a process he did not participate.
Let's put things into context now. Who are we talking about? Are you talking about the APC
The
candidate?
APC candidate, yes.
Okay, that he...
Because he has already congratulated Abba Yusuf.
It didn't matter.
And he was not party to the suit.
Right. Okay. Going by what you're saying now, it means the party also has no right to go to court to contest that judgment.
The party,
that's an election.
Nobody's saying that. You see, that is the beauty of democracy.
Exactly.
The beauty of democracy is that if any party feel aggrieved for whatever reasons, he is free to go to court. Just like we now have gone to appeal court.
Right.
To say that justice was not properly done to our matter.
Beauty about democracy.
I agree. That is the beauty of democracy. So nobody is arguing or fighting over why did A or B went to court. What we're talking about here is the process the justices took to deliver their judgment.
Because it was virtually...
Was it fair? Did they do their research very well? Did they read the INEC guideline? Did they read the INEC acts? Are they the umpire? INEC have duly satisfied, they were duly satisfied with the conduct of the election. Both parties agreed it was fair and it was free and fair and credible.
The political party APC did not agree.
Why did they not agree?
Because maybe these discrepancies
that was not part of their prayers. That was not part of their prayers.
But there was the part of their prayers is also the fact that Abba Kabir Yusuf was not a member of the political party. If you follow,
that is laughable.
It may be laughable, but they went to court with it.
Until the political class decide to be noble men and statesmen, we'll keep having this kind of conversation.
Well,
I want to tell you something.
I had to giggle there because when you say political class, you fall into that class.
Yes, I do. Yes, I am.
Right.
I am.
So what's going on? Why have you people not embraced all you have said?
We have. That is why we looked at the presidential election and we say we're not contesting it. That makes us statesmen. Do you understand me? You cannot take what you do not have. All right? APC knows that they were randomly beaten.
I don't think the number is in context here.
You say what?
The number, you do have the numbers.
Yeah, to take away 165,000 plus votes of a candidate in the altar that they were not stamped. When there is a regulation that said such a scenario could happen, and once the INEC returning officer is satisfied, it should be counted.
Well, there's also, if you have this and you know that it's within your rights to not to at all points stamp or have this stamp to make it. No. I'm just saying that there was also an accusation, although I saw that on social media, but you're here now to give me a proper explanation to it, where it was said that the NNPP got complacent and that they didn't even believe it would hold water. So they were not represented well, they weren't even following court cases, and the witnesses were very minimal to actually push forward this.
Do you need to bring 1 million people to show that white is white?
I mean, it's a state like Kano. Kano, you of all people should know that Kano is well contested. Any government, whether the one in power,
you don't have to bring sentiments.
I'm just saying that Kano is a very important state to Nigeria.
It is.
You cannot undermine.
Is that why APC want to do the undoable in order to capture the place?
It's possible.
What they could not get from the ballot box, they want to get it from the back door.
It is what Nigeria's democracy seems to be about. Litigations have determined our elections. But did you think it's bad? Did the NNPP
because the good people of Kano State came out en masse.
Did the NNPP take this court case seriously?
Why not? If not, they do not have representation in the court. We did. They do not. We did. The issue here is that there was nothing to this case other than frivolities. It was frivolous. for you to pick 165,000 votes. Outside that, there's equally a provision in that same act that says that where the differences between a winner and a loser is above or beyond this threshold, that there should be a rerun. And in this case too, that obtains. Why did the judge not ask for a rerun? Why did they not ask for a rerun? So there is something more than meet the eyes. In fact, we are calling on the National Judicial Council to set up a fine-finding committee to investigate why, what, and for what reason did those not apply in this instance. If the law states fully that in a situation where you have this number of votes above or below, that this is what should obtain, that is the INEC guideline.
Exactly.
So why did the judge or the justices, why did they ignore that in a very sensitive state like Kano? Let me tell you something Nigerians don't know. In the whole of northern Nigeria today, only Kano State is peaceful. And that happened because somebody laid that foundation. Rabi Musa Kwakwaso laid that foundation. With all the states surrounding Kano being in crisis, only Kano is enjoying relative peace today. Maybe Nigerians should not, for any reason, allow Kano to burn. That is why when that judge called the Kwakwansia movement a terrorist organization, we did not take that kindly. It is unfair to the people of Kano. It is unfair to some of us who are not from Kano, who are Kwakwansia members.
Okay, well, I would just...
That's a very charitable statement to make.
I feel like you did not address something.
What was
Is
that?
it true that you had just a single witness to give? You just alluded, you just agreed with me that Kano is a very important...
I am not the lawyer. But if the lawyer feels very strongly that with one witness, he has a very strong case to present, so be it. So
what would you say about people who felt that the NNPP just barely defended the petition with very feeble...
Like I said, you call it feeble. But there's nothing... Somebody said a candidate of a party is not a member of that party. Isn't that frivolous?
Well, the Electoral Act stipulates certain time frame for a member to contest in a political party. Did
INEC not clear him for the election?
It's not within INEC.
It's within the power. In fact, there's a judicial pronouncement to that effect that it is an internal affairs of the political parties to present who is their candidate. Once the person meets the criteria,
we have precedent in some other tribunals. It's been struck off as pre-election matters.
Yes.
Others would insist.
So why are they bringing it now?
I ask the questions.
So that is one of the reasons why I told you.
Why are they bringing it up here? Because in some instances, the law is also quoted. It's pre-election matters.
If a man has a problem with you,
it is within the political party. And I'm asking you now, why NNPP? But we're going for a short break. When we return, we will talk about why NNPP, if indeed Dr. Stanley is alleging that the party is being witch hunted by the APC, why? We'll be right back after this short break. Welcome back. We are still discussing Kano State, NNPP, and the developing stories there. We are still with Dr. Stanley Ijeh, the National Vice Chairman, South of the NNPP. He has given us a good background as to how the party feels. But he, in his statement, also went to say that some things within that judgment was obviously not intentional, not to be in their favor. If that is the case, I had ended by saying, why the NNPP? So I bring that question back. Why do you think you're being targeted?
Yes, we're being targeted because Kano is a very important state in Nigeria. Kano is the only state in Nigeria that enjoyed 44 local governments, center of commerce. All right? Kano, we talk about the police of the north. Anybody that holds Kano is holding the heart of the northern Nigeria. And that is why we must be very careful so that we don't inflame, add more injuries to what's already happening in Kano State.
Exactly. Could that be why the judge referred to the Kwankwasịa group as terrorists?
That statement is quite unfortunate.
It's quite unfortunate, but you can also
do you know
sense
why?
fear.
Do you know why? Do you know
in the
why?
way that judgment was given. It was virtual. It was for the first time we saw a virtual judgment. So it could be out of fear.
Out of fear for what? Have they ever been attacked? Let me tell you something, my dear. For the first time in the history of Nigeria, a government disciplined his own. When the young man, the commissioner who was alleged to have made that statement, when he came out, that statement did not represent the Kwankwasịa movement.
Or the stance of the governor.
Yes, not the stance of the governor. The governor went ahead and did what? And suspended or even sacked that commissioner. That is to show the caliber and the personality of the governor. And that was enough for anybody that said entertain any fear to have been rest assured that his life is secured in Kano State. But wallahi, God passed them. Because I will tell you something.
I like that Nigerian term.
I will tell you something. What happened in Kano and the statement attributed to the judge over Kwankwasịa was to inflame passion and inflame anger, and then maybe people will enter into the streets. Then they will declare state of emergency.
People did go to the street.
Those that went to the streets, can you actually say that they are not the people of Kano? They are the people of Kano.
Okay.
There is no stamp of Kwankwasịa on their body.
There is actually.
They are the people of Kano State.
However, you could
whichever
see
way it is,
the red cap,
if the people are not comfortable or not happy after they have stood in the sun, in the rain, to cast their vote for a candidate of their choice, and somebody have gone through the back door to procure judgment, you think the right thing for them to do is to sit by and watch injustice be meted out to them? It's not possible. But I tell you something, because NNPP and the Kwankwasịa movement is a peaceful organization. They conducted themselves in a manner that is not what the judges expected, and not what the APC, rather, government expected. I want to tell you that when you like or you love your governor, you will listen to him.
Of course.
As soon as those skirmishes, or rather those peaceful rallies started, the governor went on air and asked the people to remain calm, and that he believes in the judiciary. He knows that judiciary will do the right thing. We have only passed one leg, which is, the tribunal, court of first instance. There is the Court of Appeal, and there is the Supreme Court. We have precedents in Nigeria where people went to Supreme Court, as far as Supreme Court, and still got justice. Ours will not be an exception. Oyetola is there as a reference point. Adeleke is there as a reference point. Wike is there as a reference point. Amechi is there as a reference point. And so on and so forth. Do you understand me?
Yes.
So we are a law-abiding organization as Kwankwasịas. the peace-loving people of Kano are equally very, very law-abiding because they love their governor. They love Kwakwanso. Whatever they tell them to do, they will do. And because Kwakwanso is a statesman, he asks his people to remain calm and they listen to him.
Well, this calm has also elicited another kind of reaction from your Southwest chairman, I think, Alhaji Abbas Akande Onilewura. I don't know if you're familiar with the name, who is accusing Kwankwaso of having sold the NNPP to APC, and speaking about how Kwankwaso has been hobnobbing with this government. It's only possible that this is one of those negotiations to sell Kano State, an important state just as
it's only Nigeria. It's only Nigeria here.
To the APC.
It's only Nigeria here. People will just wake up, or somebody will just wake up and make an allusion, and the media will run with it.
He called for a press conference, and somebody as important as the NNPP,
the man you are talking about,
NNPP,
has been expelled from our party. So he has no local standing to talk about NNPP. He's been expelled.
Okay.
In fact, I only just wanted to add flavor to your question. That is why
you are responding to it at all.
If not, he does not exist. By law, he doesn't exist.
Well,
he committed anti-party activities, and NNPP has a constitution that says anybody who commits anti-party activity will be invited to the disciplinary committee. These gentlemen you talk about were invited to the disciplinary committee. They were found guilty, and their cases were referred to NWC, who referred the case to NEC, and NEC expelled them.
Was it expelling or suspending?
They were suspended first by the NWC. Okay?
And they had a counter suspension of your
national
leader.
They had already, they have already been suspended. They refused to turn up. That's why they were expelled. And in our constitution, if you are suspended or even expelled, you will appeal. When you appeal, your appeal will run its course. And at the end of the day, one of the organs, if NWC found you culpable,
right,
and NEC said no, forgive him. Are you getting me? NWC will not say no to NEC. And if NWC and NEC found you culpable, and National Convention says no, forgive him. So you can see that there are stages. Why did they not follow those procedures?
Yet you digress.
Because I'm coming, ma. Because they are recalcitrant sinners. They are reprobates. They are reprobates.
Now let's go back to the crux of the matter. One of those accusations that was made against Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso was that he was hobnobbing with the present administration. He did not counter his loss in the tribunal, like other political parties. It was obvious that he was friends with the APC. In truth, we also saw in the media as well that kind of friendship engagement going on with the APC, and here we are having the APC take over Kano, which was the only state the NNPP had. I mean, you can understand why people can find a connection.
I will put the record straight.
What happens to that friendship that the NNPP or your leader Kwankwaso had with this administration? What is going on?
Thank you very much. You see, you cannot plant something on nothing.
Of course.
Otherwise, that is the void. As at the time, His Excellency was invited by the President to a meeting in France and another leg in Nigeria here. The President informed the National Caucus
that
the president wanted to see him. Kwakwanso informed the National Caucus. And we gave him
the go-ahead.
The go-ahead to go and have a meeting.
That meeting.
With the president. When he came, he told us the outcome of the meeting. And a decision was taken. Again, the president invited him over what was happening in Kano. They are all media issues. And it will interest you to know that after that parley with the president and the former governor, at least relative peace returned to Kano State.
Even though there were speculations that he was being considered for minister.
You see,
was that even
what did you call it?
Speculation.
Speculation. Did it happen?
But was it also
I
in
ask
the burner?
I ask you now, did it happen?
Was it brewing?
No, did it happen?
Eventually didn't, but was
so
it brewing?
If it didn't happen, that means it was never, possibly that was not what the meeting was all about. You see, people speculate.
Could it be
journalism to, you know, speculates.
Okay.
So
now you want to attack the profession. But my question is,
let me answer your question.
Could there be animosity because he refused, or what happened that he did not accept that ministerial position? If what the speculation allegedly was indeed happening.
I am not in that meeting.
Right.
I was not part of the meeting.
Is it possible?
Why will I speculate? That's a crime. What I know is that the president had meeting with our leader, and there is no law in NNPP that says a member of our party.
Your leader approached you people to say the president is reaching out. What did he say? Because you're beating around.
There is no way the president will invite anybody and he turns them down. You will go and listen to him.
True.
Kwakwanso has a lot to offer this country. As a former minister of defense, as a former senator, as a former governor, as a former House of Rep member to the position of deputy.
And I personally believe he would have been a good addition to the cabinet.
Well,
don't get defensive. It seems like you are getting defensive.
That is why I said everybody, including yourself, is speculating over what their meeting was. I'm not speculating.
I just want you to clear the air.
Kwakwanso didn't come out to tell you I've been screened for ministerial appointment. Neither did His Excellency, the President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, come out to tell Nigerians that, oh, I have offered Kwakwanso a ministerial appointment.
But was it in the burner?
You are the one saying so.
Okay, Dr. Stanley.
That's why I said you are speculating.
Now let's go to this. Is it possible that maybe the NNPP did not send reinforcement or do their due diligence during that tribunal to win intentionally, just so that the APC gets their way?
That's something they call fishing. You are just fishing around this question.
Well, you're a member of your political party.
I have told you.
You're a member of your political party had a media parley. A media parley. This member that you claim has been suspended,
yes,
and still can call for a media parley as the chairman of the Southwest.
Which Southwest?
I was talking about an internal internal crisis within the NNPP, and you refuted. I
have told you before,
right,
in this
that there's no parallel government within the NNPP. And yet, what's his name again? Alhaji Abbas Akande Onilewura. I apologize if I'm not calling your name right, but he had a media parley where he insisted that Kwakwanso's hobnobbing with the APC is the reason why they lost, because
it has nothing to say.
Right.
So he just wanted to say something to wimp up sentiments. You know, you look at the man, the personality of Kwakwanso, and then you feel that after all the effort of that man, when we came into old NNPP, it was a dead political party with no structure. You did not know about NNPP before, did you?
I mean, I had heard about it as one of the many political parties at the time.
Yeah. But they have no single structure in Nigeria. When Kwakwanso came into this party, he brought in a group called TNM outside Kwakwansia and breathed fresh oxygen.
Let me get something straight. Is it Kwankwaso that brought the TNM, or the Kwankwaso came with the Kwankwasia group? The TNM was also merging, and the old.
He was equally the leader of TNM.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and he breathed life. He started opening offices, spending his own personal resources.
I had somebody on the show who also said that no money was spent from Kwankwaso's purse, and it was the collective contribution of everybody. But we have played enough. We've played enough. We've played enough. Dr. Stanley,
how much he contributed.
Dr. Stanley, we're playing too much. Let's go straight to the matter. Yeah. What's next for the NNPP? Your governor has been sacked by the tribunal. And what's really next? And these internal issues you still claim does not exist is hurting.
The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria allow any aggrieved person in Nigeria who desire to seek justice, if he felt that one court had not done justice to him. So there are about 3 legs to governorship election matters.
Exactly.
You have the court of first instance, which is the tribunal.
Mm-hmm.
You have the appeal court, and then you have the Supreme Court. We have just had the judgments of the court of first instance, and we felt aggrieved. We felt that justice was not given. That is why we have approached the Court of Appeal. And we know that God's willing that we will get judgments and reclaim our stolen mandate, which was freely given to us by the good people of Kano State, who came out en masse, stood in the sun, in the rain, to give us 1,016,000 votes, which no other, even the presidential election, nobody had that figure in one single state. Let us look at it justly. In Kano State, during the presidential election, we won Kano with the widest margin.
Right.
Senatorial election, we had 2 Senate seats. House of Reps, we cleared it. I think we lost only 1. In House of Assembly, we had 40 of the 44 local governments. So how come it is only the governorship election that the people of Kano will slack?
But you did admit also that at the time when the elections held, so much was against the NNPP. You even talked about, at the time, I think you talked about your logo that was not visible.
Yes.
Yes, and all of that. Do you think that was coordinated? I remember asking you at the time that, how is it that Kano did so well, NNPP did so well in Kano, and yet you claim that that same ballot papers did not do well in other states because of the blood,
I will remind you what I told you.
The blood logo.
That there was conspiracy
in other states. Everywhere else but Kano.
That conspiracy is what I've just played out. So there's a continuous conspiracy
against the NNPP.
Against NNPP. Because they know that Kwankwaso had the wherewithal. He has Nigerians.
He did?
Yes, supporting him. And Nigerians know that not until the personality of Kwankwaso, the person of Kwankwaso comes to the center, he will provide that needed synergy for Nigeria to leave this conundrum of impossibility.
Of impossibility?
Yes.
Really?
Are you not feeling the pain?
What pain? Did Kwankwaso not also promise the removal of fuel subsidy?
Well, he wouldn't have done it this way.
Okay, that's what you say.
Yes.
But removal of subsidies,
Everybody cries for it. Right. And everybody crave for the removal of subsidy.
Right.
Because
but let's go back to this election.
The same APC government told us that subsidy was a crime, was a fraud.
At the time.
At the time.
And then you go, they change their mind.
Oh, they change their mind.
It seems so.
So they swallow their vomit.
It seems so.
So you see, let me tell you something. Before you throw stones or mud at anybody, first of all, look at your own. There's an adage in my play that says, before you break somebody's head, touch your own. You see, lies, they are temporal relief. Over the time, you need 1 million baggages
of lies to continue with that one.
So APC had been known to be a party that dwell, sleep, wake up, lying on sentiments.
On sentiment?
Yes. Lying on the physics.
Well, they have a tribunal judgment that has given them, with their sentiment, has given them a governor.
And another court of competent jurisdiction will do justice.
Okay, so what's next? Like what I asked, what's next for the NNPP? I really want to get into your defense now against this judgment. What is the what
I
the word?
You.
Now me them send. Dr. J, you've always known that I'm the village people that they send.
They send you.
So what do you
allow us? We have our own legal team. They are studying the judgment. Okay, they will put up their defense to that judgment. Already, Nigerians from different persuasion have looked at that judgment and agreed that there was injustice.
Exactly.
Different legal luminaries, different jurists have come on air to say no, there was miscarriage of justice.
We've also seen others who justify the justice. So
no,
when you say Nigerians, I need you to say maybe some Nigerians.
Those who do that.
Because indeed it's a democracy. So it will be mixed.
Everybody is free.
Information.
Yes. Everybody is free to opine his opinion. What is important here is that your opinion, is it right or wrong? Because what goes around
comes around. Especially in the judicial system.
Are you getting me? What I know is that today, every Nigeria has their eyes on the judiciary.
Right.
So that judicial institution, which was the pride of every Nigerian, which is still our pride, we hope that they will stand up to the reality of what Nigerians are saying about them, because that is the only hope of the common man. Okay, and that is the only thing people like you and I
can rely on.
Can only rely on.
Exactly. Dr. Stanley Ijeh, before I let you go, there's also news that the NNPP is approaching or petitioning the judge in the panel, one of the judges, I think I can't get the name right now, to the Nigerian Judicial Council. And permit me again, I'm acting like a village people that they sent, but you're petitioning the Nigerian Judicial, the judge to the Nigerian Judicial Council, and yet you're going to the tribunal for appeal. And we've heard some very unprintable words that the NNPP has used to describe the Nigerian judiciary at the moment. Do you still consider there would be judgment? Because
let me correct you. NNPP had not in any way impeached on the character of the judicial system in Nigeria. We still believe that the Nigerian judiciary will do justice to what has happened in Kano. That is why. Okay,
let me quickly give you that. Justice Benson Anya is the one who is being petitioned to the Nigerian Judicial Council.
We have,
go ahead.
We have looked at the whole scenario and felt that there was a deviance. The man left what he had come to do and then start casting aspersion on groups, on the people of Kano. We felt very strongly that that shouldn't have been the case.
True.
So if we have approached the National Judicial Council, that is the right thing to do than taking the laws into our hands.
Of course. Thank you so much for being part of the program. Unfortunately, we've run out of time, but I've had, like always, I always have a wonderful time with you here on the program. So, Dr. Stanley Ijeh has been speaking with us on the National Vice Chairman. I got that, Dr. Stanley. Dr. Stanley is the National Vice Chairman, South of the NNPP. We've had a wonderful discussion talking about NNPP, Kano State, and what to expect next. But this is it for Joy Asonye Live today. We'll be back tomorrow with so much more. Do have a wonderful evening.